Some thoughts for the future. We have approached a point in time where technologically the powers that would be could have a control that is far beyond anything that any previous king or ruler could have imagined. Where they can have total surveillance, you can have total control. You can understand what the population is doing in real time. So, it's a very, very pivotal point in history where the powers that be would be tipping to a point. You see, the king always had to worry about the peasant uprising, that there was more of them than there was of us, and that the gap in technology was only so much. There's only such a difference between a club and a sword. You know, yeah, the sword is more effective, it is more efficient, but you get enough clubs and the sword's not going to do anything. Now, it's to a point where you can monitor every member of the population. You can see everything that is happening, if so inclined. And there is a big difference between uh, guided missiles and drone strikes, and there is between a club. A big difference. Even if you elevate that club to a pitchfork. So, I do think that there are certain laws that need to be put in place. There are certain things that need to come forward as we progress into the future. The first of which is I believe that all laws, all bills in the United States need to be passed in common language, and that all the previous bills need to be translated as such, along with every politician who has backed said bills needs to be listed in a nice, orderly, set up, very friendly interface for those who would be so inclined as to check and not have an ignorance based opinion. Second, the internet needs to have First Amendment protections. Without such, there is no relaying of information. Ideas cannot be contested. So, how are you supposed to strengthen your concept, your idea, without resistance? There's nothing to combat it, there's nothing to go against. You find yourself in continual echo chambers. And then you believe that the suppression of one side is going to lead to its falling apart. That is incorrect. It's going to go underground. These people aren't going to cease to exist simply because you've deplatformed them. They're going to figure out another spot to go. Prohibition does not work. The war on drugs hasn't worked. Prohibition did not work. Why would the silencing of the masses, especially in this country, people who are not used to being silenced? No. It needs to be free. It needs to be open. And then you can keep an eye on the would-be agitators within the populace. This is fine. Everything's public anyway. Number three, lobbyists. No, I say that specifically, but it would be any outside influencers on politics. And that's what lobbyists represent, not in this specific case, but there are a lot of individuals who are involved in the political goings on who aren't elected officials and who shouldn't have a say in the way that this nation progresses. Unfortunately, they do. They buy it a lot with money, media, influence, all this fun. So there needs to be accountability for outside agitators who are trying to promote less than harmonious things, or even harmonious things within this nation, as long as they are acting of their own validity. Number four, there needs to be scumbag clauses for all the people who jump through legal loopholes and who will spend a countless fortune on lawyers, for people who run patent scams who are shitting on the little guy. You know, we know what's going on with all of that. If you have the right attorneys, you can do damn near anything in this nation, and you can bog anybody down with enough legal paperwork that they wouldn't be able to see a courtroom for years upon years. This is wrong. It's very incorrect. It is not the law for everyone, it's the law for anyone who can't afford it. And that is not the way our society should be ran, and I believe everybody knows that. And so it's got to be, hey, you're being a scumbag. Need accountability. Doesn't matter how many lawyers you have. You need to be held accountable. Corporations as well, especially. Political money and political accountability. How many politicians should be charged as war criminals for the laws that they've put through, for actions that they've allowed to have happen? There is no accountability within politics. Every president in my life, all 29 years of it, every president has been a war criminal. Everyone. And some of them were worse yet. So, the money that is given to politicians for them to vote certain ways, corporations, banks, wealthy individuals. It used to be that you acquired wealth and then got into politics. Now you get into politics to acquire wealth. You leave a millionaire along with all of your family. This is not the way it should be. We all know this. We need to start holding ourselves, and especially our leaders, to a higher standard. Otherwise, there isn't much hope. And we need hope. Now more than ever. So let's all be a little bit better. Please. We have more in common with each other than those that want us to fight.